You know, when it comes to the July Nintendo Direct that is currently rumored, I do have to wonder, what is Nintendo's big surprise? Because we do know about Metroid Prime, we know about other games like Tamagotchi and Splatoon Raiders, right? Which, I mean, Splatoon Raiders is already a pretty big game, if I have to say so myself anyway. So what else is Nintendo gonna hide from us that's gonna be shown at this July Nintendo Direct? Which, by the way, do you think we're gonna get a Nintendo Direct in July? Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the Robo Show, where we take the gaming news format that channels like Spawnwave or Arlo do, add a dash of animation and some cool editing on top to bring you your gaming news, leaks, and rumors in a fresh new way. In this video, we are going to talk about some Nintendo Switch rumors and leaks that have recently happened, and also in the past, just overall games that could appear at the July Nintendo Direct when it comes to these Nintendo Switch leaks and rumors. I feel like there have been a lot of different exciting Nintendo Switch leaks and rumors, and it really does get me excited for the July Nintendo Direct if it ends up happening, or at the very least the next Nintendo Direct. These range from different things like the Nintendo Switch Online service, third-party games like Witcher 3, and even games like Animal Crossing. But as always guys, remember these could end up being fake, that could always end up happening, so be careful going forward with believing these 100%. If you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, it helps the video reach more viewers when you do, and if you want to follow me on Twitter, my Twitter handle is RoboRob93. Without further delay, let's get on to the topics. With that being said, the first one comes from BeatEmUps. If you guys remember recently on a Nintendo Switch leak list that he gave in his podcast, the NonTendo Podcast, he said that there was going to be a July Nintendo Direct. Now, whether or not there's going to be a July Nintendo Direct or not remains to be seen. But one of the games that was on the list was Animal Crossing for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, according to him, this was going to be a 2026 game. And in this Nintendo Direct, we were supposed to only get a small teaser card for the Animal Crossing game. Now, it's not too surprising that an Animal Crossing game is going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. Of course, under the assumption that this is actually true and it's not fake. I guess we'll see when the Nintendo Direct comes around, if that's in July or even September. One thing's for sure is that Animal Crossing is extremely popular, especially after the pandemic, because that's when a lot of people started to jump on the Animal Crossing hype train. I mean, I've been an Animal Crossing game since the GameCube. I played it on the GameCube first. There is a Nintendo 64 version of the GameCube version, if I remember correctly too, but that was, I think, in Japan. So the GameCube version for Animal Crossing is what I have the most memories on and the ones that I love the most, especially when it comes to just memories with people that I used to play the game with, specifically my cousin. She would come over on the weekends and she would sleep over and we would just play Animal Crossing all night, trying different jobs for different villagers, and it was just overall really fun. And I kind of feel during the pandemic, I'm sure a lot of people had the same kind of experiences, whether they're old or young. A lot of people played it during the pandemic. And for another Animal Crossing to come out, I think that's going to be very, very exciting, especially since it's been a couple years since the last Animal Crossing. So I'm hoping this one ends up coming true at the next Nintendo Direct. And the next one is a pretty interesting one. So this is a game that I've actually never really played, and that's Star Fox back on the Wii U. So this has been rumored for quite some time, and it's something that I really do want to see on the Nintendo Switch 2. As someone who has never played the game, if it gives me another chance to actually play the game, especially on the Nintendo Switch 2 with the performance of the Nintendo Switch 2, Star Fox Zero would be a pickup for me, or at least a rent from GameFly. Now this comes to us from Nash Weedle. If you guys remember this, we covered this on the show a while back, and it's something that I would like to see. I know a lot of people want to see a mainline Star Fox game. One thing that I saw in the comment section when it comes to, you know what, actually, never mind that sentence. Let me know what kind of Star Fox game you want to see. Do you want to see Star Fox Zero, or do you want to see Star Fox Adventures, or maybe a new Star Fox game? One of the three. I'm curious on what you guys think about that. But anyways, as I was saying, Star Fox Zero is supposed to be coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, and we don't know if it's going to be coming right now or later at the next July Nintendo Direct, but considering that the July Nintendo Direct is currently rumored, or at least we're going to be getting a Nintendo Direct very soon, I would assume so. If not July, probably in September. This seems like a pretty okay guess if this ends up coming true. And moving on to the next one, of course, the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake. Now, I'm gonna say something that will shock you guys, and please don't hate me in the comments section. Well, you can hate me, I really don't care, but it's gonna be pretty shocking to you guys. So I'm a pretty big Legend of Zelda fan, especially when it comes to older Legend of Zeldas like Wind Waker. If you guys know, I mean, I'm sure you guys know, especially long-time fans of the channel, you know that I absolutely love Wind Waker. But I also love the older Zelda games too, but one Zelda game that I've never played is Ocarina of Time, and that might really shock you. I dabbled here and there as a kid, but I never really picked it up and played through the whole game. So currently, there is a rumor that's going around that we're going to be getting a Ocarina of Time remake, and that's something that a lot of people want. A lot of people do definitely want an Ocarina of Time remake, and I mean, it would make Nintendo quite a lot of money if they did that too. That's something that's recently floating around, and I've seen a lot of hype for that in the comment section. Even on videos that have nothing to do with that topic, people will just comment down, I want it, I really, really want it. And that's one of those games that I just never played. I mean, there's a lot of games that I've never played, but that was one of them, and it's definitely on my back catalog list that I'm currently working through. So eventually I will get to it, but if a remake comes out first, I'll play that. So I hope that's at the next July Nintendo Direct. And the next one is, of course, Metroid Prime 4. If by the time this video comes out, we don't have a release date yet, sometimes Nintendo does drop news on Twitter like Splatoon Raiders, which was absolutely insane. But if we don't get that release date, that's something I would love to see at the next Nintendo Direct, and I think if it is in July, I think that release date for Metroid Prime 4 is probably going to be either September or November. I don't think it's going to be October because Pokemon Legends ZA is in October, and that was also part of the leak from BeatEmUps when it comes to the July Nintendo Direct. He said that we're going to be getting a release date during that July Nintendo Direct, which is kind of a no-brainer. I don't think you really need to have inside knowledge to know that, hey, a game that's coming out in 2025 is going to get a release date at the next Nintendo Direct. That's going to be the last Nintendo Direct in 2025. Well, we could always have that at the September Nintendo Direct, I guess, if we do get one. But yeah, I'm hoping to see that at the July Nintendo Direct if the July Nintendo Direct is real again. And the next one is a pretty interesting one, Astral Chain 2. This is one that's really popular among a lot of Nintendo fans. A lot of people do say it's absolutely insane that there's no sequel, and if we do end up getting a July Nintendo Direct, it would be really cool to see it there. It's just one of those rumors and leaks that has been in the news for the Nintendo Switch 2. And the next one comes from Nash Weedle again. This is something that is pretty interesting. He's very vague about it. He talks about the other Nintendo, and what some people think this is maybe like a Nintendo Switch 2 OLED, or maybe it's gonna be a Nintendo Switch Lite 2. Other people think maybe this is something akin to like the SNES Mini or something. I feel like the SNES Mini or something similar to that is probably more than likely what it's gonna be if this ends up coming true, or maybe it's some kind of peripheral for, you know, the Nintendo Switch 2. Because the Nintendo Switch 2 just came out, why would you make a Nintendo Switch OLED? That would just make no sense. And then when it comes to like a Nintendo Switch 2 Lite, I mean, the Nintendo Switch 2 just came out. Why would you, release that so close to the release date of your big console, the Nintendo Switch 2? It just wouldn't make sense. So I'm guessing this is probably gonna be some kind of other Nintendo like he describes it as, and when it comes to other Nintendo, it's probably gonna be like one of those mini consoles. And the next one is actually pretty exciting. This again comes from BeatEmUps on his NonTendo Podcast. He said apparently we're going to be getting some Nintendo Switch Online games, which is no surprise. I mean, they just added GameCube to the Nintendo Switch Online service. I'm sure they want to get games added to it so people buy the Expansion Plus pack. And one of them is Pokemon Coliseum. Now, he does say Pokemon XD Gale Darkness is going to be coming later on, but they're going to be shadow dropping Coliseum during that Nintendo Direct. And I gotta say, if that happens, I'm 100% stopping that stream right there. Well, I'm gonna wait for the Nintendo Direct to end, of course, but after that, we're gonna be playing some Pokemon Coliseum for sure. But yeah, I'm hoping that also appears at the July Nintendo Direct. It's supposed to, according to BeatEmUps, so I guess we'll see. Now, a couple other things that have been rumored is something like the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and Twilight Princess. That is still rumored. Multiple Nintendo insiders have said that for the longest time now, I mean for years. And I think some of that stuff probably did have to do with Wind Waker coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 with the Nintendo Switch Online service. In fact, if you guys remember, there were a couple things pointing to them adding that to the Nintendo Switch Online service, if I remember correctly. I don't remember the exact source, but I do remember talking about it and thinking, or not thinking, saying in that video that, yeah, this is probably going to be for the Nintendo Switch Online service. Now, Nintendo has come out and said that the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD versions are still on the table. Not specifically them, they more so said that HD versions of games that previously existed on like the Wii U and the Nintendo Wii and all that great stuff can already come to the Nintendo Switch 2 even if it's on the GameCube. This is coming from Nintendo themselves, they said it. So if you ever wondered where is like Metroid Prime 2 and 3 and Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD, well, they're probably going to still be bringing these games to the Nintendo Switch Online service, and they have been rumored / leaked for quite some time. In fact, I do have a reason why I think they held on to them for so long, because that's what we last heard, at least when it comes to Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. It's Nintendo holding them, and Metroid Prime 2 and 3, if I remember correctly. I wonder if they held on to them for so long because of the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, one thing I do have to say about that is that we do know that the Nintendo Switch 2 was actually supposed to release earlier than it did. So maybe Nintendo is holding on to these games. Who knows? I guess we'll see. Now, these are just some of the things that have recently happened. There are stuff in the past and even recent as well, like Witcher 3, and of course, there's that Nintendo Switch rumor / leak about the next 3D Mario game, which is supposed to be revealed in 2026, according to Nash Weedle. And overall, there are a lot of other things. I don't think all of this stuff is going to appear at the July Nintendo Direct, of course, but I think maybe some of these might, which would be pretty crazy, especially that Ocarina of Time remake, which again, let me know in the comment section below if you guys do want that on the Nintendo Switch 2, and what other recent rumors and leaks do you guys think could appear at this July Nintendo Direct, whether that be the stuff we talked about in this video, or maybe stuff you've seen floating around the internet. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. And if not on your way out, make sure you subscribe for more videos and also have that notification bell on. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, there is my Patreon and Twitter account in the pinned comment if you're interested in those. Oh, and also have this donut if you're still sticking around for me rambling. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.